Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today I will show you how to make a power supply for your devices such as TV or any other 12-volt device from an old PC power supply. As you can see, this power supply it have multiple output sources such as 5 volt and 12 volt. So we'll be using this 12 volt, and from 12 volt we can get up to 12 ampere of current. The first thing you need to make sure it's working. So for that reason you have to make a jumper to start. I have already made the jumper. From this side you have to count, fourth and fifth you have to connect. It will jump start your power supply. So you don't need a PC. Okay, please don't mind my hairy hand. Okay, so now I have connected it. It doesn't show anything as this is old power supply. Here it goes, it started. The fan have a problem, so we have to check the fan. We will clean it. We will try if it worked. Oh, that will be good. If not, in my case it doesn't matter because I only needs 12 volt 2 ampere. With the PC, if you are using, you might get a very hot power supply because all of the cables will be supplying powers to board and hard drives and various other things. So we will try. If it's work, then okay. But if it doesn't work, in case of 2 ampere, it doesn't matter. So now I have opened it. I already used blower before opening to remove the dust. That's why it's clean a little bit. The fan is jammed, so I don't think so it will work. It's not the dust, it's the fan itself. So let's try to turn it on, and please make sure that you don't touch any of the circuit or wires. You can harm yourself, or you can create trouble for any other thing, because there is multiple power sources. You have 220 volt also and 12 volt DC also, so you have to make sure. So as I told you, the fan is hopeless, so I'll be leaving it as it is. But if you are using more than 2 amperes or multiple sources for the supplies, you have to make sure the fan is working. You can close it back now. Okay, now as I mentioned earlier that we'll be using this yellow for a 12 volt positive, and for the negative we'll be getting this black wires. So the rest of the wires we will close it with electrical tape. You can cut each and every wire also, but I usually don't cut them, because in case in future if I have some other projects or something else, I can use them. So now keep a tight tape on all the bunch. If you have children in your home, and for the protection, you can use your electrical tape to cover all these jacks also, in case the water is spilled. Although this whole unit is not water resistant, so you have to be careful. You have to place it in the place where water and nothing reach there. Okay, now you have to cut these two wires for the connection. Make sure you disconnect the power supply before all this process. Just tear a little bit from both wires. On the other side, I'll be using this old jack, which I had this old LED spotlight, and usually I don't throw this jacks and plugs, because they always come handy. So I will just tear that also. And this jack is matching our TV input. The most important thing, you have to check the polarity of your device, because normally there is negative and positive on each devices. Mostly inside you get this positive polarity, and the negative you get on the outside. In my case, this inner side is positive, and outer side is negative. So I'll connect my wires according to that, but you have to make sure about your polarity. It's mentioned on the devices normally. Just make a connection on this. You can use soldering iron also, but I don't think so I'll be needing it, because on a little bit higher voltage you don't need it, normally on 12 volt, but lower than 12 volt you might need soldering, because for the flow of current, and the circuit is completely intact, so you need soldering. Now we have our 12 volt ready. Now, as we have made our connections, I taped it, and it's ready for the TV unit. I'll later on extend the wire according to my need, but just for right now I'll just check if it is working. So let's try on our device. As for the polarity, normally it's written on the back side on this area normally, but on my device it haven't mentioned, but I made sure that it's standard, so I am sure it will work. Let's power it on. You can see the standby light on the corner, it's red. So let's turn it on. Normally when it get dusty, so the switches don't work, so I have to clean the switches also. You can see the dust on it because this is very old TV. As you see, it's started. It's working now. You can see it's ready to make connections with your all the other devices. Thank you for watching, and please leave the comments. Thank you. Take care.